We unveil the top offensive players in Central Wisconsin at 6 p.m. Now it's time for the guys who make their lives tough, the defense. Here are the final 12 athletes who can call themselves 2023 News Channel 7 Football All-Stars. Interceptions, sacks, big tackles, you name it, and these guys did their best to disrupt opposing offenses and are the best in North Central Wisconsin. We get our start in the trenches with the game wreckers. In Wittenberg-Burnhamwood, we find Charlie Nowinski, who is an all-star at offense and defense. The 6'6", 315-pound lineman was unstoppable, recording 6 sacks and forcing a fumble. He was first-team All-Central Wisconsin Conference large on defense. The state champs Edgar gave up just 49 points all season, and they are well represented here. First one is Preston Dalkey. The senior had 10 tackles for a loss and 2 sacks. He was rewarded with a unanimous All-Marywood selections. Staying in the Marywood, fellow unanimous All-Conference selection defensive end Gavin Voss changed games for Colby. He forced 2 fumbles, recorded 5 tackles for a loss, and brought down the quarterback 3 times. Rounding out the line is Medford's Cameron Bull. The Raider had 1 sack and 9 tackles for a loss. He was one of 2 unanimous All-Great Northern Conference selections on defense. In our linebackers, we find ourselves back with the state champs in Edgar. Carter Butt was a hard guy to tackle at running back, but as a defender, look out. He had a team-high 109 tackles with 10 of them for a loss. He's an offensive and defensive all-star and was the Marywood Defensive Player of the Year. Conference counterpart Caden Anderson was also a force for the Eagles. The senior had 96 tackles, 17 of them for a loss. He was first-team All-Marywood. In the Valley, Wisconsin Rapids senior Carter Christie was a menace in conference play. He had 72 total tackles, good for second in the conference. 3 of them were for a loss in Valley play. He was first-team All-VFA. DC Everest Vinny Tesh is a fellow All-VFA selection. The senior recorded a team-high 74 tackles and 2 sacks. He also recorded an INT for a touchdown. He was rewarded with a first-team All-VFA. Speaking of interceptions, Mosinese Keegan Jerschley is very familiar with those at defensive back. He led the state with 14 of them. That was 1 shy of a state record. He's an offensive and defensive all-star. He was also the Defensive Player of the Year in the Great Northern Conference. Spash's Jackson Spees had an eye for the ball as well, taking the ball away with 9 INTs, first in the Valley by a long shot. He was first-team All-VFA. And now we're back to the state champs. Edgar's Tegan Strite was a key part of his team's defensive efforts. The senior had 5 interceptions and 36 tackles in the Wildcat secondary. He was a unanimous All-Conference. The punter can flip the field for any team, and Ashton Fisher helped Rapids do that all year. In 22 punts, he had no touchbacks and 5 inside the 20. His 42.4 yards per punt was 7th in the state. He was first-team All-VFA. Congratulations to these 12 athletes on joining the illustrious group of Football All-Stars. And that's a wrap on the 63rd edition of the News Channel 7 Football All-Stars. Congratulations to all of our selections. And every year we dedicate the All-Stars to Mark Zelich. 63 years ago, he had the idea to create a special honor for area athletes, the All-Stars. 63 years later, thousands of athletes can thank Z for this honor, and they will continue to do so.